It's fascinating how time works, isn't it? There's this inherent tension in the human experience between intention and action, between what we believe we can do and what we actually end up doing. Sometimes later becomes never, as they say. You see, we often deceive ourselves with the promise of tomorrow. We convince ourselves that change is just one decision away, that the time to act hasn't yet come, but it will. We push our dreams and responsibilities into an imagined future, and that future slips away from us like sand through our fingers. What's at play here is our tendency to procrastinate, to delay our personal growth, our ambitions, our most meaningful pursuits. We make the decision to delay because it feels more comfortable in the moment. The problem is that comfort doesn't lead to progress. Comfort leads to stagnation. We all know that the most rewarding accomplishments in life come with challenge, with discomfort, with the overcoming of obstacles. Yet how often do we find ourselves putting off what we know to be important? This pattern of delay is destructive because it erodes the foundation of our lives. Every small moment of procrastination adds up, and over time we see how those some days have turned into never. Look back on your life and you'll see countless moments where that same pattern is played out. But that doesn't mean we're doomed to repeat it. There's a choice here, a choice to take action, to not let today slip away under the illusion of tomorrow. It starts with a simple realization and acknowledgement that time is finite. You can't keep pushing things off forever. There's no endless reservoir of time to dip into when you're ready. Life, as difficult as it might be to accept, is short. And in that short span, you have one life to live, one opportunity to make decisions, to take action, to shape your world. You can waste time, yes, but that means squandering the very resource that gives you everything, the ability to change, to grow, to impact the world around you. It's easy to fall into this trap. It's easy to think that later is always there waiting for us. But you're not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed that the path you want to take will still be there when you get around to it. And so every decision to delay becomes a decision to let that possibility slip away. The longer you wait, the more of your life you waste. And when you realize that, the weight of regret becomes unbearable. But here's the thing, it's never too late to start. The power of now is always available. Even if you've wasted years, even if you've procrastinated for decades, the present moment is still within your grasp. You can still make the decision today to stop putting things off. The key is recognizing the value of every single moment and taking responsibility for it. Do you want to be someone who always talks about what they'll do later? Or do you want to be someone who acts, who makes things happen now, in the face of uncertainty, in the face of fear? Because it's in the act of moving forward, even if it's just a small step, that you start to change your trajectory. You start to turn your someday into today. So stop waiting, start now. Otherwise, those moments that you think will come later will never come at all. And when you look back, you'll see that your life has slipped through your hands like water, wasted on the belief that there would always be more time. The concept of postponing things for later or putting things off until tomorrow is one of the most common traps people fall into. It is a form of self-deception that many of us indulge in, believing that there will always be another chance to act, to make a change, or to begin something important. In the speech, this is called the illusion of tomorrow. It's a deceptive thought process that convinces us that the present moment is not the right time, and that we will have plenty of time in the future to do what we intend to do now. We tell ourselves we will get to it later, and in doing so, we unknowingly trap ourselves in an endless cycle of procrastination. In reality, this cycle often leads to nothing getting done at all. The promise of tomorrow rarely materializes, and the more we put things off, the more we find ourselves never truly accomplishing the things that matter. The core of the illusion is rooted in our natural desire for comfort. It feels easier to avoid the discomfort of taking action right now. We convince ourselves that we're not ready or that the time isn't ideal for making a change or starting something significant. But as the speech highlights, this thinking creates an endless loop of missed opportunities. The danger in this mindset is that it slowly erodes our sense of urgency and our ability to act decisively. Over time, we begin to accept this idea of indefinite postponement as a natural part of life. We become conditioned to believe that change or effort can always be delayed until later. And as a result, our dreams, goals, and responsibilities begin to gather dust. This kind of thinking doesn't just affect grand life goals, but can also influence daily tasks, making it harder to complete even the smallest of jobs. Eventually, when the time finally comes to act, we realize that the moment has passed, or that our hesitation has caused us to miss an important opportunity. This delay is not just a matter of procrastination, it's a matter of missed growth and lost potential. Every time we defer a decision, we are essentially putting off growth, development, and the very essence of progress. It's in the act of doing, of taking the first step, no matter how imperfect, that we make tangible progress. It's in the facing of challenges, not the avoidance of them, that we learn, evolve, and ultimately succeed. When we constantly delay, we miss the lessons that come from overcoming obstacles and facing difficulties head on. The illusion of tomorrow is particularly harmful because it is insidious. It doesn't appear as a clear enemy, but as a small, seemingly harmless idea that we can manage later. But over time, the consequences of constantly postponing important actions add up, often leading to regret and frustration. At some point, we find ourselves looking back, realizing that we had all the time we needed, but failed to act when it mattered most. The key to overcoming this illusion is recognizing that the present moment is the only one we truly control. Waiting for the perfect time to act is futile because, in truth, there is no perfect time. The best time to take action is now. Even if it's just a small step, it's a step that breaks the cycle of procrastination and brings us closer to our goals. The lesson here is simple but profound. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and waiting for the perfect moment often means waiting forever. By taking action today, we can turn our intentions into reality and begin to create the future we desire. A comfort is a powerful force, and when it comes to personal growth, it can be one of the most significant barriers to progress. As human beings, we naturally seek comfort. It's in our nature to want to avoid discomfort, whether that's the discomfort of physical exertion, emotional strain, or mental challenge. We often equate comfort with safety, with ease, and with happiness. However, the speech highlights that this pursuit of comfort is at odds with progress and achievement, especially in the context of personal and professional development. The very act of delay, of choosing to avoid action because it feels easier now, is the path of least resistance, and it is also the path that leads to stagnation. When we choose comfort over discomfort, we deny ourselves the opportunity to grow. Growth does not come from remaining in a place of ease and predictability. It comes from stepping out of our comfort zone, from facing challenges, from pushing ourselves beyond what is familiar and comfortable. Whether it's in our careers, in relationships, or in personal goals, the real breakthroughs often happen when we decide to push past the point where we feel at ease. It is in this space of discomfort that we find the strength, resilience, and ability to adapt that drive meaningful change. In an educational context, this is particularly relevant. Students often face challenges that require effort, perseverance, and the willingness to step outside their comfort zone. Whether it's tackling a difficult subject, participating in a public speaking event, or working on a challenging project, these tasks are rarely easy. Yet the value of these experiences lies in their inherent discomfort. It's in these moments that students learn the most, not just about the subject at hand, but about themselves, their capacity to overcome obstacles, their ability to persevere in the face of adversity, and their ability to grow from difficult experiences. Choosing comfort means delaying the inevitable discomfort that comes with personal growth. It is tempting to stay in a state of inertia, to remain in a familiar routine where nothing challenges us and nothing requires us to stretch beyond our current abilities. But the truth is, nothing worthwhile comes from staying stagnant. Life doesn't wait for us to feel ready. If we constantly choose comfort, we are simply postponing the growth that could happen if we chose to take risks, make mistakes, and learn through trial and error. In fact, choosing comfort often results in the kind of self-deception we see with procrastination. We tell ourselves we'll tackle the challenge when the time feels right, when we feel more capable, or when the pressure is not so overwhelming. However, that perfect time never comes, and instead of growing through the discomfort, we find ourselves waiting indefinitely, often becoming trapped in a cycle of unfulfilled potential. This pursuit of comfort is not just limited to physical ease, but it also extends to emotional and psychological comfort. We avoid difficult conversations, we avoid facing uncomfortable truths about ourselves or our relationships, and we avoid confronting fears and anxieties. Yet, true emotional growth requires us to face discomfort head on. It requires us to experience vulnerability, to sit with uncertainty, and to accept the challenges that arise when we push ourselves beyond our current limits. Ultimately, comfort may feel good in the short term, but it robs us of the long-term rewards that come with pushing through challenges. It's in the moments of discomfort, whether it's the late-night study session, the difficult conversation, or the challenging project, that we truly develop. The speech reminds us that comfort is a trap, one that leads us to delay important actions and defer growth. It's when we step outside of our comfort zone, when we face discomfort with courage and determination, that we begin to transform our lives and reach our full potential. In education, as in life, progress is made not by avoiding discomfort, but by embracing it and using it as a tool for learning and development. The finite nature of time is a sobering reality that we often overlook. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it is easy to assume that time is endless, that we have all the time in the world to achieve our goals, make decisions, or change our circumstances. We often think we can always do things tomorrow, or that we will have more time to pursue our dreams later in life. But the truth is, time is one of the few resources in life that we cannot replenish or extend. Once a moment passes, it is gone forever, and there is no way to get it back. Recognizing the finite nature of time is essential for making intentional choices that lead to progress and growth, whether in personal development, education, or career. This realization should serve as a wake-up call. It compels us to acknowledge that the present moment is the only one we truly have control over. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and waiting for the perfect conditions or the right time often means wasting precious opportunities. In education, for instance, students are often faced with tasks, assignments, or decisions that can be delayed until later. However, every time we put something off, we are not just postponing the task, we are also postponing our own growth. The lessons we learn today, the skills we develop now, and the choices we make in the present all shape our future success. Time moves forward regardless of our willingness to engage with it, and it's easy to fall into the trap of assuming that there will always be more time to catch up or fix things later. This is particularly important when we consider the long-term consequences of wasting time. Small, seemingly insignificant moments, those we think we can afford to waste, accumulate over time and have a compounding effect. A day lost here, a week wasted there, may not seem like much in the moment, but over the course of months or years, these small moments add up. As time slips away, it becomes more difficult to make up for what we have lost. In education, this can manifest as a failure to study for an exam, procrastinating on assignments, or putting off important decisions about one's future. What might seem like a minor delay can lead to a significant gap in knowledge, skill, or opportunity. Recognizing that time is finite helps us make more mindful decisions about how we spend it. It shifts our perspective from one of procrastination to one of urgency and purpose. When we understand that every moment is a gift, that every second counts, we are more likely to act on our goals and commitments in the present rather than putting them off indefinitely. It encourages us to take action now, to prioritize what truly matters, and to focus on what we can control rather than waiting for the circumstances to be ideal. This urgency is not about rushing through life or forcing ourselves to act without thought or reflection, but rather about making conscious choices and being deliberate with our time. The speech emphasizes that the future is shaped by the decisions we make today, and that we have the power to influence our own outcomes through our actions. Time does not wait for us to feel ready, and the opportunities we delay today may be gone tomorrow. Whether it's starting a new project, taking on a challenge, or making a significant change in our lives, acting now is the key to creating the future we want. The finite nature of time also teaches us about the importance of balance. We are not always able to accomplish everything we want to do in one day, and that's okay. What matters is that we consistently make progress, even in small ways. By acknowledging that time is limited, we are more likely to focus on the things that truly matter rather than getting caught up in trivial distractions or unnecessary delays. It's about making conscious choices that align with our long-term goals and values and taking consistent steps toward our aspirations, no matter how small they may seem in the moment. In the end, understanding the finite nature of time is a powerful motivator. It challenges us to act, to take responsibility for our lives, and to make the most of the time we have. Every decision we make today has the potential to shape our tomorrow. By embracing the fact that time is limited, we empower ourselves to take control of our future rather than allowing time to pass us by without purpose or direction. Time is our most precious resource, and the way we choose to use it determines the life we will create. Procrastination is not just about avoiding tasks, it's about postponing growth and deferring the opportunity to improve. The speech emphasizes how each small moment of delay compounds over time, leading to missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. This cumulative effect is insidious because it's often not immediately noticeable. When we delay something, whether it's a small task or a major goal, the consequences of that delay seem insignificant in the moment. However, over time, these small decisions to put things off add up, and the impact can be far-reaching. When we procrastinate, we often don't realize that we're building a pattern of inaction. We convince ourselves that we'll catch up later, that we have time, and that the future will provide an opportunity to make up for what we've delayed. But this mindset overlooks the fact that time, once passed, cannot be retrieved. It's easy to underestimate how much we lose by failing to act in the present. Each day that we delay a decision, put off a task, or avoid facing a challenge, we are essentially telling ourselves that we are not capable of handling it yet. We convince ourselves that we will be better prepared tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, the cycle repeats itself. The compounding nature of procrastination becomes evident when we look at the long-term consequences. What starts as a single delay can quickly snowball. In education, this might look like postponing study sessions until the last minute, or waiting until the night before a deadline to start an assignment. While one instance of procrastination may not seem like a big deal, over time these small delays build up, creating stress, anxiety, and a feeling of being overwhelmed. As students continue to put off tasks, they may find themselves facing a pile of unfinished work, feeling like they are always catching up rather than staying ahead. Procrastination also robs us of the opportunity to learn from our experiences. When we delay, we are denying ourselves the chance to grow through action. It's in the doing the effort, the mistakes, the adjustments that we learn the most. Procrastination keeps us in a state of indecision, never fully engaging with the process of growth. It's not just about getting things done, it's about what we learn from the process. When we put things off, we miss out on that valuable learning experience and the personal growth that comes with it. This pattern of procrastination becomes particularly detrimental when we think of it in terms of long-term success. Every missed opportunity, every deferred goal is a piece of the foundation of our future. The more we delay, the harder it becomes to catch up, and the less likely we are to achieve the success we envision for ourselves. If we continuously put off taking action, we end up with a future full of regret over the things we didn't do, the chances we didn't take, and the potential we failed to realize. This is why it's so important to break the cycle of procrastination before it spirals out of control. Breaking free from procrastination requires a shift in mindset. We have to recognize that the cost of delay is much higher than we might initially perceive. Each moment we put off something important is a moment we cannot reclaim. If we want to achieve our goals, we have to make the decision to act in the present, regardless of how uncomfortable or challenging that might feel. It's not about waiting until the perfect conditions arise or until we feel ready. The key is to take small, consistent actions now rather than deferring them to an uncertain future. Procrastination also keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. When we delay, we begin to question our ability to succeed. We tell ourselves that we'll only succeed when the circumstances are just right or when we have all the answers. But the truth is, success often comes through trial and error, through the willingness to take action even when we don't feel fully prepared. By constantly delaying, we are holding ourselves back from achieving the very things we want to accomplish. In the long run, the consequences of procrastination are not just about missed opportunities, they are about misgrowth. Every time we delay, we postpone the chance to learn, improve, and develop the skills we need to succeed. The compounding effect of procrastination is a silent force that holds us back from becoming the person we could be. But the good news is that breaking the cycle is entirely within our control. It starts with recognizing the impact of procrastination and making the conscious decision to take action today. By doing so, we can start to turn those delayed dreams into real accomplishments. The speech concludes with a powerful call to action, to stop waiting and to start taking action now. This is a crucial point, one that drives home the idea that the only time we truly control is the present moment. The future is uncertain, and while it's easy to convince ourselves that we will act later, the reality is that waiting often leads to missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. This keynote stresses the importance of immediate action, no matter how small, as the catalyst for change and personal growth. The key to transforming our lives is recognizing that every step we take today builds the foundation for the future we desire. The concept of acting now is about more than just ticking off tasks on a to-do list. It's about making meaningful progress toward our goals and dreams. Whether in education, career, or personal development, the act of starting, no matter how imperfectly, creates momentum. Waiting for the perfect time or the right circumstances often leads to paralysis. The conditions we imagine will never be ideal, and if we keep waiting for them to align, we could be waiting forever. Instead, it's in the imperfect, often messy actions we take now that we begin to shape our future. In educational settings, this message is particularly relevant. Students often face challenges that seem insurmountable, difficult subjects, overwhelming assignments, or even the uncertainty of their future. The temptation to delay or procrastinate in these moments is strong. But the key to success lies in taking action despite the fear or discomfort. Waiting for everything to fall into place or for the ideal conditions to appear can create a sense of inertia. It's only by acting, by taking the first step, even if it's small, that students can begin to move forward. Whether it's starting a research paper, asking for help on a challenging topic, or signing up for a new course, the act of taking that first step makes the task feel more manageable and less daunting. The power of immediate action also lies in its ability to combat the negative effects of procrastination. When we take action, we interrupt the cycle of delay and self-doubt. Every small step we take toward our goals builds confidence and reinforces the idea that we are capable of what we set out to do. This momentum is crucial because it keeps us from falling back into the trap of waiting. The more we act, the more we prove to ourselves that we are capable of making progress, even if that progress doesn't happen all at once. Moreover, immediate action is often the antidote to the feelings of regret that come from inaction. When we delay, we risk looking back and realizing that we've wasted valuable time. This regret can be paralyzing, leading to further procrastination and even more missed opportunities. By choosing to act now, we avoid the cycle of regret and start building a future that aligns with our aspirations. The speech emphasizes that while regret over missed opportunities can be painful, the far greater regret is that of never taking any action at all. The lesson of acting now also teaches us the importance of consistency. It's not about making a grand gesture or achieving perfection in a single moment. It's about committing to progress every day. Small, consistent actions are what ultimately lead to significant change. Whether it's dedicating 15 minutes each day to studying, taking a small step toward a career goal, or practicing a new skill regularly, the compound effect of consistent action is powerful. Over time, these small actions accumulate, and what once seemed like an insurmountable goal becomes an achievable reality. In essence, the message here is that the present moment is the only moment we can control. Waiting for a better time or for the stars to align only leads to stagnation. By taking action today, no matter how small, we set ourselves on the path to success. Each step forward, no matter how imperfect, is a victory in itself. It's in the act of doing, of making decisions and taking responsibility for our actions, that we begin to shape our future. This keynote teaches us that the power to change, to grow, and to succeed lies in our ability to take immediate action, not in waiting for tomorrow, but in acting today.